On this episode, I'm going to give you a full tour of my 2009 Honda CRV conversion into a camper van, van life style. So I've been traveling around in this now for the past 2 years. I'm a seasonal part-time van lifer. I'm stationed here in Vancouver Island in the winters, and then I go out when it's nicer weather. So first off, the outside, you can see this is a 2009 Honda CRV. I've got a cargo box on top. It's one of those gray ones that I painted. For any of those wondering, I have a full video on how to spray paint this. You can also use acrylics on it, which is why I have some black on there. And the reason for that is I have a solar panel on top and there's tape, and I wanted to blend that in. I've got a shovel on here and recovery boards for getting out of the mud. I have a 160 watt solar panel on the top. For the connections, I have them run off the back here and into the door. Every vehicle has usually somewhere you can get them in. There might be some spaces here, but you have to watch when you pinch the door closed, does it crush the thing? And right here for my vehicle, it works fine. It doesn't really crush the wire, so that's where I run mine through. Going inside, starting with the driver's side here, I keep my sun care stuff here. So basically I've got, this is like some sun lotion if I get sunburned, and then extra kind of tissues. That's about it. There's nothing else there. I've changed a lot of things in here. I've moved my dash cam down here, and that has a rear cam so I can see as a backup camera. In the front here, I have doohickey here, which is an inverter. It has 2 plugs and 2 USB. This is just an emergency backup if my power system isn't working. At least I can plug something in there, like my laptop. This did happen on my road trip. My EcoFlow River Pro broke after like a week, and I had to use that to charge my laptop. It was really annoying. So it's always good to have redundancies. Now I have 2. I've got a Bluetti and an EcoFlow. For that reason, I don't do those expansion packs. If you've seen EcoFlow, I'm sure Bluetti has it, definitely Jackery has them as well, where you get a main unit and then you can stack on extra batteries. I don't like that style because just for that reason, if you blow a fuse on your main unit, all those extra batteries are worthless. It's better to have 2 full units that have all the capabilities, so at least if one goes, you have another one that's fully capable. I'll link up all the stuff here that I use in the description down below if you want to check out the stuff that I use. Now over here, you can see my kitchen. I've got this cooler bag, which I have a review on. I actually really like that thing. It works very well. It holds, if you have ice packs in there, it holds cold for a couple days. This is my garbage can, and then this is a food bag, and then I've got canned food underneath there. Let's bounce around my vehicle a little bit. I'm in the back here. I've got more food down here. Now this is where I was keeping like almond milks and stuff. They're all gone now, and so it's getting a little sparse in here. But basically I basically had breakfast here, almond milk and like little packets of Rice Krispies. If we go back over to my passenger side, so I've got this. This is my old cooler bag I got from Walmart for 20 bucks. This thing is good for keeping mice out of your food. It's not a great cooler bag. You can see in there was a bit of a pain to open one-handed. So I basically just keep like tons of stuff in here with snacks, and I've got basically oatmeal left in here, nuts. That's it. But I like having it zipped. It keeps the mice out of here. Now if we look underneath, I got canned food. So I've got, you know, beans, and this is a lentil curry, etc., etc. So I just keep the cans there. I can also put a full layer of cans and lift the garbage can up. While we're in here, I've got this. I was just jamming my receipts in there, but I started putting them down here in this bag. This is way more efficient. So I need to use this. Last year I used this as a pantry for like my vitamins and stuff. So I should go back to that. My glove box is just a glove box. I don't use it because you can't get in there. But if you can see, it just got my papers and stuff. And in the front here, I've got mostly it's just shoes. So I got my hiking shoes, extra shoes, water shoes, lots of shoes. Back here I have access to my water and the rest of my food. So I keep food underneath here too, and maybe I carry too much food. But here's my spice rack up here. See, this slides out, and I find on the road, if you have lots of spices, you can make really good food. I keep bottles here that just seems to work really well. So there's some sweet chili sauce and some Frank's Red Hot. And then this has become a bit of a wasteland here. There's just a couple things left. There's some breakfast stuff. I had juices in here before. I just have a water bottle left in here now. In here I basically have noodles and also some more canned foods and some like rice and stuff. So stuff I don't need to get to right away, but it's in there. For my water system, I upgraded this from last year, and I really liked how this worked out. I've just got this bungee cord that holds it onto the frame that I built, and then I've got on this little platform. So underneath I've got toilet paper, which the mice got at a little bit, ripped it up, but garbage bags for my car crapper. My car crapper is in here. It's this green thing here. It's hard to see. This allows me to take a crap in my car if I need to, in a garbage bag. I've got a whole video on that, so you can watch that if you want to see how that's made. It costs about 40 bucks to put that together, and you need specific garbage bags that fit that exactly, which is why I keep this, because this has the exact measurements. It's these 2 feet by 6 inch, etc., etc. And the water itself, it's a 4-gallon tank, 15 liters. It's a slight decline here, so when I turn it on and just pop this open, all the water comes out. All I have to do is pull it out a little bit like that, and then you can see water comes out, no problem. And it doesn't slide out of here. So we see in the back, first off, I got recovery boards up here. They are not affected by the top there, so they perfectly able to sit back there. It doesn't affect the door back here. And so I've got my bed. I did try playing around with my bed. I used to sleep here, but it actually, if you see, it slopes down here and became claustrophobic. I started sleeping on the other side, and it's way better. Now the reason why is there's a lot of just open space here, and it's about 2 inches taller up there. So I just found putting my head here was much better. Now the only thing is, you can see how my bed is built. My head is actually resting on nothing, but I ended up putting a cushion down here, and it's just sitting on the car crapper, which it doesn't sag. So that's how that worked out, and it's worked out well. While we're over here, we'll look at where my clothes are. So I basically have bags of clothes, and they're organized. So one will have like pants and whatever, pants and shirts. One will have underwear. One will have cold weather gear, etc. So I have different bags, and that's how they're organized. And sometimes stuff falls out, but you can see, pull the bags out, and that's what we're left with. You can see my car crapper here, and you can see this cushion, which is what's propping up the rest of my thing here. Just because the platform, I can't actually build it far enough without getting in the way of my chairs up here. The original designs is my desk. My desk pulls out like this, and sometimes gets stuck. There we go. So it comes all the way out. Originally I had this stick which I'd put through here, through these holes, and it would hold it up, but I had to have the door shut, and that became a big problem. So then I developed this thing, which is just a carabiner, and you pull this up really high, and you can see now it's hooked on there. Like, you can fully lean on this, and it does not go down whatsoever. And actually it leans downwards this way a little bit, which is nice for a laptop. It's actually easier on your wrist like that. So you can see here it's slightly angled. So this has worked out fantastic. And this was just a piece of this crude plywood that I just buffed and then oiled with some linseed oil. It was butcher block oil. Yeah, check that build video if you want the exact details on that. The door here, I carry my pee bottle, which is a Gatorade bottle. I got this little bag. This thing was free, and this works great as like a backcountry bidet. And then I've just got some, this is icy hot for my muscles. What we're left with here is the bottom row, which is storage, and my power solution. So we'll do the power stuff first. So I've got my Bluetti. This is AC 180. It's a 1152 watt hour power solution, and this is nice because I don't have to have any opening on that side. So I have that pressed up right against there. This is held in place by a couple screws. So there's a screw there and a screw there, and so I can lift this up. I can take it out, but it doesn't slide anymore because I put the screws in there. There's a couple there and there's a couple back here, and this has been a game changer because this thing's so heavy. It used to slide around. And yeah, so I've got all the controls here, you know, turn it on and whatever I want, AC or DC, etc. And this is hooked up right now to the inverter in the car, which is this cable here, which runs down here into the cigarette lighter that's back right here. There you go. So I have two cigarette lighters on the Honda CRV, one in the back, one in the front. The one in the back, because it has to run a line to the front, it generates slightly less power. So over a 5-hour drive, this will be maybe 5.5 hours to charge the whole unit, where if I plugged in the front, it would only be 5 hours. And this is where I keep all my cameras and stuff. All I've got in here right now is drone batteries and then some other stuff to charge my Sony and stuff. But normally I have all my cameras and stuff in here, and they're all plugged in and all charging. Got my watch, and I've got a blender here too. So, and we move to the other side. Pull this down, and we've got access to my EcoFlow River Pro. So this is in here. And same deal, this thing doesn't hold its charge as well as the Bluetti. I'm noticing this tends to like to just keeps dropping. But and then this is just like camera accessory parts I keep in this fishing tackle. So like, you know, little GoPro screws and all sorts of weird things like that. I keep my this thing here is a little solar charger, but I actually just use this as a light. So I use it, the solar panel on this thing to charge it. So I'll put the solar out, it'll charge, but instead of charging any of my gear, I just use this as my light in my vehicle every night. You always need a light. This one's really bright, and this thing will just last and last and last for days, or like a week or two, just from having it charged. So basically this is my dedicated light in my vehicle at night. Another thing you also need is a fan. So I got this little fan from Walmart. It's been amazing. You also need something to wipe your face off or your feet or whatever. So I got a nice little towel there too. But yeah, get yourself a little fan like this. This one plugs in USB, so you can plug it into either of these units. Now if we're going underneath, we can see I've got a bag here. This is all backpacking gear. So I can bring this out and grab all the stuff I need, tent, etc. But for that reason, it stays back there because I don't need it every day. Looking from this side, this left side here, not always where the thing plugs in, but I keep all my hiking poles, my tripod, just extra hiking poles, and my shoehorn back here. Anything that's kind of long that needs to fit in there. I've got my 2 bins here. This is my kitchen, this is my junk drawer, and this is my backpack. So I keep my backpack in here. And then just a few extra pieces of gear that I want quick access to is in there. And then now let's look at my kitchen setup. So for my kitchen, I got my kitchen table here, and it just pulls out like this. And I can use it just like that, floating. The more weight on it, the closer I have to put it that way. But often what I do is just grab one of these trekking poles, and I just set up the table with the trekking pole legs. You can extend it to any size and lift it to whatever height you want. I've got 2 of them. You can see there's another grommet here. I find using one, it's faster, and I only need one to really hold up anything, jet boil, etc. So most of the time I was just using one pole, but it works out really well. Nice sturdy area, and I can cut on here. Same thing, I use the butcher block, food grade oil on there, so I can use this as a cutting board. Take a look at my kitchen. So this part needs some redo. I'll just tell you that right now. But what we've got in here is another towel for kind of drying stuff. We've got a wok, and that's all I have. I have one wok, and then I have my jet boil. So jet boil down there. I've got my can opener. So I've got this cooker here, which goes on the propane, and then the jet boil goes on this. I also have an adapter to use the jet boil on the propane or whatever. I've got this bigger jug for my my blender, and then a couple smaller cups. I have extra of these gas canisters, isobutane for backpacking, and then just, you know, kitchen stuff, utensils, scrub brushes, a lemon juicer, and that's about it. My knife. So that's it for my kitchen stuff. Because I'm a vegan, I don't fry stuff. I don't, you know, I'm not making eggs and bacon and that kind of stuff, so I don't need a frying pan. If I want to do any frying, I've got that wok. I can also put soups or stir fries in there. So there's just some things I don't really, you know, I'm never sizzling or using oil. I don't have any oil in my car. I don't cook with oil. So that's all of my kitchen stuff. Now let's look at the junk drawer. So this one, I probably can get rid of a bunch of stuff here. So I've got 2 Catadine B-Freeze 3-liter bags, and I use this to filter water to put in my main container. I also use this to put it directly into the jet boil. I was getting most of my water from rivers and stuff in Alberta. Now all this stuff is just junk, right? I've got tape, I've got contact solution, and just random stuff, scissors. I've got this jackhammer for my muscles to use after hikes and stuff. And then this is like a kind of a toiletry bag. I've got toothbrush and all that kind of stuff in there. I've got a smaller one too, which I use. This is the extra one that have razors and stuff. One of the razors I can cut my hair is jumped out. He's there. And then I've got like first aid, cover up all my curtains. This most popular video on my channel is my car curtains. Pretty clever design I came up with. So I keep them all underneath here. And you can see I made a new one this year because it was worn out. So this is the brand new one. So if you're doing this brand new, do like this. Get black cardboard paper like this, costs $1, and then get black tape, and all we're gonna do is put it in. See, and then once you get it all cut to size and all that, you watch that video, you can see how I do that. But basically, see, one-handed, I put it in there, and that is 100% blacked out. We put that there, you cannot tell that there's a curtain in there. It is just blacked out. So that one's the only one I have that's absolutely perfect. All these other ones are getting a bit worn out because there's a couple years old, but they still work really well. These little guys, I should remake these with a black paper, but these go in these little triangle spots back there and back there. And how they work is just like a pressure pinch. You just kind of curl it like this, and then it opens up and it pinches in there. I got one of those car curtains for all the different windows except for the front. The back uses 2 different windows that goes up here. I've been testing out different things, putting these flaps with tape so it holds them in. Problem is that the tape doesn't stay on, right? I'm having problems with the tape staying on here too for my rear camera, so I still have some stuff here to figure out. For my front windshield, I use this thing, which stores right here perfectly. This is just one of those things that curls up and then opens up, right? And you're just taking this and putting it up there. And then I just fold these down to hold it in place. So with that in there, you can see it covers up everything. Then when you shut the door here, it's basically, there's just a tiny gap. You can really tuck this up here too. You get a tiny gap up top there, but that's about it. Bed itself, I've got a queen size duvet in here. And this is folded over twice. So I'm actually sleeping like, almost like in a sleeping bag in the duvet on these very thick cushions. These are couch cushions my neighbor gave me for an outside couch. You can see here, I'll pull this back. So they're pretty darn thick, and then I just sewed a couple of these fabric covers on top, put a bed sheet on there, and then the duvet on there. So it's like I'm sleeping in here like a burrito, and it's unbelievably comfortable. The key is just making sure you park somewhere flat, and putting the head over there has been much better. So all I've got left here is this water bottle there. I used that like last year more. It just puts, if I had water in there, I can use that to quickly wash off something. But really, that's extra space I could use better. I probably use a better space under there a little bit better. Also, my thing up here for you push this and it comes down. Sunglasses, like I don't wear sunglasses, I could probably use that better. So there's definitely some space here for improvement. And then the last thing here is my cargo box. Let's go up there. Cargo box is a true junk drawer up there. I keep bigger stuff like this fan. If it's really hot, I will sacrifice the power out of my Bluetti EcoFlow for the night just to keep a fan on me so I'm not cooking to death in there. So I find it's essential to keep a bigger fan like that. I've got another solar panel. This is a foldable one that I take out during the day. That one works well. That actually works. The one on the top does not work. I've got a bit of extra food up here and some noodles and stuff. You can see I've got this Mastercraft bag, which is all tools and stuff to fix any sort of problems. I've got a big camp chair up there. So this here is my camp chair. I've used it a couple of times. Move the solar panel all the way here. So I keep extra, like I got my cold clothes here. So if it was really cold, I have this bag of clothes. I've got a tarp here. I've got this window squeegee, an air pump, and you can see here, I've got a donut. So this is a donut spare with some extra NRC and stuff down there. I've also got a hammock here, which I didn't use, so that probably needs to come out. Same with that puff green thing. There's one of those big puff air chairs. I didn't use that at all this year. And just some other miscellaneous stuff. So like there's too much stuff up here right now, but yeah, mostly taken up by the donut. The final thing I didn't show you is I actually carry a full spare as well. So I've got a donut spare and a full spare. So if I get 2 flat tires, I'm still good to go. Because of the nature of my channel and going out bagging peaks and just getting out into the wilderness, I like going places people have never or rarely gone to, never filmed, etc. So I need the full spare. Let me show you. It's underneath this. So first off, I can show you how much space is in here. And you can see just some extra gear I've got here, trail running bag. Underneath here, if we lift this up, so there's my full spare, and I also keep about 100 feet of cord. I've got jumper cables, some extra blocks, and that's about it. And also I've got that yellow bag there, triple or quadruple extra large black shirts that are kind of a spandex material that I can stretch over my windows. I've got a full video in my car curtain video. That's actually the secondary car curtains I have. So if you need a little bit of airflow with privacy, you can put shirts directly over top of your window. Just pull it right over and then fold the sleeves in and shut the door. It'll be 2 layers of fabric, but if you roll the window down, some air can get in. So if you need a bit of airflow, those work really well. And if it's really cold, then you just use the cardboard ones that I've got here, right? So you can also do a combination of the two, but I don't use those that often. I use them like once or twice this summer. For the most part, up in the Canadian Rockies, it's a little bit chilly at night, so I didn't need them. But I keep them down there just in case. I also keep, like I said, 100 feet of extension cable, and that allows me to plug in my Bluetti straight off of the spot right here on the side, and then I can run that out of my vehicle, usually I roll down the window and then just put it, pull the window all the way back up, so it's just this tiny bit of the thing coming out, or you can do it at the side of the door if you're around or whatever, and then you can run that all the way out to a library or somewhere that's got a plug, so you don't have to take the unit out. I did take the unit, both of them out multiple times. I put them in like big IKEA bags or in a backpack, both. Together it's about 70 pounds to carry both those things with my my backpack, so it's a bit of a huff, but sometimes you have to do that because you're not within 100 feet, or it's just not acceptable to be running because you can't just run an extension cable because you might trip people. So if it's like somewhere late at night, nobody's there, then you can run the extension cable, plug it in for 40 minutes, it charges the thing almost to full, and then you're good to go. But other times you got to take the units out, so I have them accessible to be moved or plugged in easily. The other thing I didn't cover here is I actually had two big red drawers that were down here. So this cooler was like that. Just see the volume of space. So basically two drawers that were right here. If you watch my videos, you'll know them from some of the shots. Let me just show you those. They're inside. That just worked out really well being in there, but I had to kind of like strap it down with a couple cables so it didn't move. I am going to do a bit of a rebuild. I'm not sure if I'm going to remove the front passenger seat completely and then build that out so it's a proper kitchen, and carry less food, organize it better, have more space. I might find a way to drop my bed a bit, just get more space so I can actually sit on my bed, sit up on it. So this concludes the tour of my 2009 Honda CRV into a camper van. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, got some good value from it. There's been a lot of tweaking to this thing to get this to this point, so I'm pretty happy with it, pretty comfortable in there. The only thing is the bed. I want a little bit more space. Maybe somehow I could sit on the bed to work would be nice, but you know, for the most part, it's worked out pretty well considering how small it is there. So if you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.